Is it possible to create a game on the iPad? The answer is yes, and I'm going to show you how in this video. In this video, we'll be examining 3 engines that can be used to make games on the iPad, and we'll also examine 2 more. I do want to say this, that most of the engines on this list are paid applications. There's only one of them that are free, so if you're interested and you don't really have much money, so you might want to check that one out in the end. The first application we're going to talk about is called Codea. This application is written in Lua and it can be used to create both 2D and 3D games. Though I do want to say that the 3D capabilities is not as strong as the 2D capabilities. If you look at my channel name, it's called Codea Dev. Yes, Codea is the app I use mainly to develop on the iPad, and I feel like Codea is a very great choice. But putting away all biases aside, let's see how Codea actually works. In the side, you'll see a little video of me demonstrating how it works. So this is Codea, and this is the main screen. And as you can see, these are all the projects I have. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up the Flappy Bird project. This project basically showcases a Flappy Bird game, and I'm going to run the game first. And as you can see, it's just a simple game where you just flap as a bird. It took like me about, I think, 3 days to complete this. This was my first time using Codea. And I'm going to showcase the code which can be used. So it has a scene, and each scene holds a bunch of entities, like this bird, this floor is an entity, and entities have components which you can code up and add functionalities to your entities. What I'm trying to showcase is that Codea has a bunch of stuff that are built in. You can use scenes. You don't have to use scenes, but it's available. You can also use physics. You can use audio. I like to say that Codea is very flexible with people, and it doesn't force you to one way, but it allows freedom. And I will also want to say that it allows Objective-C, meaning that you can use Apple UI. So just as you can see, that Codea is a code-focused engine, but it's very good and very flexible to use. What I'm going to do now is showcase some projects that are made in Codea to showcase the power of the app. I did talk about Codea not having an editor, but this is an editor I'm actually making inside of Codea. So this is a project of mine, just to showcase that Codea can be pretty powerful too, to even make editors. All the UI was done inside of Codea. I made the UI myself, and you see some UI can be kind of advanced, and it can do some advanced things inside of Codea. The second app we're going to talk about is called HyperPad. HyperPad has its own visual scripting language, and it can make 2D games. This is a video of me showing what HyperPad can do. This is HyperPad, so when you first open it, you go inside of the hub, and you have to click here to go to your projects. It also has a forums and it has a help page. So I'm going to click on this project. Please note that I don't really use HyperPad, so I don't really know everything about it. But what I do know is that when you click on an entity or object, you can click on behaviors. And when you're on the behaviors, you can basically use these as a form of coding. And it has you can use objects, you can get the screen resolution, you can use if statements, you can even add effects and physics. And HyperPad has a lot of stuff going for it, and you can play your project. Sadly, this project doesn't do anything because I haven't really worked on it, but I will show projects that actually do something. Here are some of the projects made inside of HyperPad. I just want to let you know that none of the projects are mine. I'm just using them so I can showcase what HyperPad can do. The next engine we're going to talk about is the Xogot engine, and this engine is a port of the Godot engine, and because it's a port of the Godot engine, it supports GDevelop, and it also supports 2D and 3D games. Here is an example of how it works. When you first enter the Xogot engine, this is the first thing you'll see, a bunch of games, and what you want to do is click on one of them. So I'm going to click on the Twin Suited starting kit. I didn't make any games here yet, so I'm just going to click on the starter kit. It will take a while for it to load. Yep, so now we're back into the project. So I'll click on 3D, and this will get me back to the 3D. And you can see around and pan and do all the interesting stuff. And you see their objects. So this has a full level editor. It is a complete port of the Godot engine with a little bit of exceptions. Some stuff you can do like C# and all that stuff. And as you can see here, it has awesome stuff and lighting. And it also has some scripts you can write in GD script. And you see there's the normal GD script stuff. I haven't gone to Godot before, so I don't really understand everything. And so what I can want to do now is go and run the project, and it will open another window, and it will take a time. Yep. And I can now use my fingers and move around and start shooting. And this is the Go engine, and it's just basic stuff. And yeah, you have a lot of other stuff you can do. You have animations, and you have, I think, UI and a lot more extra stuff you can do in this engine. Here is a showcase of some projects made in the Go engine. And again, none of them are made by me. I'm just trying to showcase what the Go engine can do. The next engine we'll talk about is the GDevelop engine. It has its own custom scripting language, and it supports 2D games and I think a little bit of 3D games. Here is a video of me using it. This is the GDevelop engine. This is the first thing you see when you open up. So you have your tutorials, which you can do, and you can create a project here. I'll select the platformer, and I won't save it, because if you save, you have to log into an account. I also want to say something, that a lot of the assets, some of the features, you have to either buy a subscription or spend some real money with the coins stuff they have inside of the app. And when you click create, it opens up the project, and you can see you have the properties on the side. You have a bunch of stuff down here, your objects on the right side here, and you have your events. This is the type of scripting that happens. So if I preview this, you'll see that I can now move this character around, and I could jump, and all the basic stuff of a platformer. And you notice this is in a website, so all your projects will run inside of a website. So that's all GDevelop has to say. Here are some sample projects showcasing what GDevelop can do. The last engine we'll be looking at is Love2D Studio. This is a port of the Love2D framework, which you can use on a desktop, and it's just ported towards mobile. So anything you can do on the desktop, you should do on the mobile too. Love2D Studio is written in Lua, and it supports 2D games. Here's the video explaining what it is. So this is what you see when you open up Love2D Studio. On the left, you see all your projects. In the middle is some text file. And over here, you can run your projects. So for Love2D Studio, I won't run and show any projects. Well, I will run a project, but I won't showcase like others' projects, because I haven't written anything. You can check out the Love2D website if you want to see projects made in Love2D. So over here, I click on the Platman game, and I'm going to click on the main file. And as you can see, it has the normal Love2D writing style. And you can have the update function, the draw function, everything you do in Love2D, you can do here. And I'm going to run this project, this specific one. And as you can see, if I press N to start, and it has Pac-Man. You can just move Pac-Man around and get in, and I died again. So yeah, as you can see, this engine is very capable, and you can do quite a lot of things here if you just have knowledge in Love2D. That about wraps up the first video of the series. Yes, this is a series, and in the next video, we're going to be talking about art apps. We'll talk about 2D art applications, pixel art, animation, and 3D art applications. So thank you for watching, and please subscribe.